This is the CSB Evening News at 5 with anchors Colin Pace and Jamelia Monley, entertainment editor Miranda Hassan, and sports with Corey Malden. Dependable news you can use. CSB News starts now. Welcome to CSB News at 5. I'm Colin Pace.
And I'm Jamelia Monley.
Commuters in Atlanta have a reason to rejoice, but will traffic problems really be solved?
Could Midtown's Rainbow Crosswalk be making a comeback? And it's down to the wire in NBA playoffs, but one team could be in jeopardy.
All these stories and more on WCSB Evening News. It has become one of the more bizarre stories of the city of Atlanta, the fiery collapse of the I-85 Piedmont Bridge. Now that the bridge has reopened, we see just how much it really is relieving traffic. Let's take a closer look. On March 30th, in the middle of rush hour, drivers hit the brakes because of this, a fiery collapse of the I-85 bridge, paralyzing the city for weeks. First responders reacted.
I saw the large column of smoke. I immediately asked to be put on the assignment responding to this bridge collapse.
In one of the worst traffic centers in the United States, the main artery into the city was cut off until further notice.
It caused a major, breakdown in logistics for, people passing through Atlanta, as well as the people who actually live in Atlanta.
Work began almost immediately. A $3 million incentive was promised to the Georgia Department of Transportation to finish as quickly and efficiently as possible. On May 13th, just 6 weeks after the disaster, the bridge was reopened, ending a nightmare many thought would never be resolved.
This is a day of celebration.
I think everybody was like, woo, we're back in our cars and we can move around, but we'll see.
As commuters rejoiced the first morning of the newly reopened bridge, they were confronted with the downside of reality.
The traffic is the same as always been.
The city was now readjusting as many drivers rushed back to the bridge, hoping for smoother rides. Unfortunately, what they found were the same old traffic headaches. However, many found new alternative routes worked out while the bridge was down.
Map technology like Waze and Google Maps, it really helped people navigate their way around the city.
And now for a city bursting at the seams, new habits in a time of crisis may just be what the city needs to finally start solving its traffic woes. Colin Pace, CSB News, Atlanta. The race is on for Georgia's 6th congressional district. Jon Ossoff and Karen Handel are the final contenders in the special election revote that is scheduled for June 20th. According to Ossoff's campaign, Handel misused taxpayers' money to pay for personal flights. Critics of Ossoff say he shouldn't be allowed to run because he's not technically a resident of the 6th district.
In a surprise announcement, former FBI Director Robert Mueller has been appointed special counsel by acting Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. Neither Republicans or Democrats saw it coming. Rosenstein says it's necessary to investigate any possible collision between the Trump administration and Russia.
Speaking of the Trump administration, President Trump is scheduled to visit 4 countries in 8 days. Saudi Arabia, Israel, Brussels, and the Vatican are all on the agenda.
Professional actor, WWE superstar, and now potential presidential candidate? You won't believe this next story from Miranda Hassan.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson says it's a good possibility that he will run for president in 2020. The Rock joked to GQ magazine that one of his campaign platforms might include 3-day weekends or no taxes. Johnson has previously poked fun at politics while playing presidential caricatures on Saturday Night Live. Rapper Kanye West may have some serious competition during the next presidential election.
Coming up, the city of Roswell is testing a new source of transportation that can help alleviate traffic in certain areas.
That and more to come on WCSB News at 5.
Are you tired of basic hygiene? Are people tired of your basic hygiene?
My husband, he used to stink, okay? But I got that Poppy shampoo, and now, ooh!
Add some Poppy to it with Poppy Shampoo. For just 4 payments of $19.99, Poppy is now available online in Uzbekistan.
Oye, Poppy.
Not approved by the FDA. Abzulatla. Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos, a staunch supporter of pro-choice in education, was booed during her commencement speech at Bethune-Cookman University. Some graduates at the historically black college turned their back on the secretary as she spoke.
If this behavior continues, your degrees will be mailed to you.
Members of the LGBTQ community band together to place a permanent marker in Midtown Atlanta. A petition has surfaced the web pushing pride in the streets. I had the opportunity to report on the scene in Midtown. Here's a closer look. Atlanta musician and LGBTQ advocate Sarah Rose launched a petition in April to get the city to repaint one of Midtown's streets at least the colors of the rainbow, our transgender flag.
In the DNA of Atlanta, there is a story of a march towards equality for different groups that have been marginalized throughout history. I mean, it's a huge part of our history and who we are.
The flag was once painted on the intersection of 10th and Piedmont Avenue during Atlanta Pride in 2015. It only lasted 2 weeks. Today, with over 20,000 signatures and overwhelming support in the community, I asked residents what they think about restoring the crosswalk.
I say that's a great thing, honestly, because it's just more, it's powerful. That's powerful for the community and for the people.
I think it's great. We have visibility. The gay community has gone through a lot of transformations, and we've supported Atlanta, and Atlanta has supported us. So I think it's great exposure.
The area is one of Atlanta's most popular neighborhoods with tons of restaurants and businesses. Plus, it's the LGBTQ epicenter. City officials say they removed the 2015 display, citing concerns about safety and state regulations. But members of the community are pushing the city to reconsider bringing back the crosswalk.
Hoping everybody would see it in their hearts to actually do it.
The Roswell City Council approved spending for the project that will carry riders around weekend evenings for 24 days. Historic Marietta Trolley will be providing vehicles to run for the free service from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. Service began May 12th and will come to the last stop on August 5th. The trolley will make 10 stops beginning at City Hall. Coming up on WCSB News, find out how to get on the casting calls for a major motion picture. And it's playoff time for one of Atlanta's hottest new teams. Meantime, things are also heating up in the NBA playoffs as we approach the finals. Stick around to see what's next on WCSB News.
I know she's talking about me. I wonder what she's saying. Oh, I can use my Jabberlate.
The Jabberlate app translates 25 different languages for you instantly. With a simple tap of the app, you can understand any conversation right through your Bluetooth-enabled device.
It's so hard to make her look beautiful, and she never gives me a tip. I want to quit.
Here's your tip, don't talk about your customers.
Jabberlate, available on Google Play and the App Store.
The Atlanta Braves dig in for a long homestand. Key player injury may put an NBA team out of the hunt for the championship. Meanwhile, a Georgia team makes their playoff debut. Here's our sports reporter Corey Malden with more.
In local sports, we got the Georgia Swarm that'll enter the first round of the playoffs with a commanding 11-8 win over the Toronto Rock. Leading the Swarm's impressive scoring display were Georgia Swarm's Joel White with 2 goals, 3 assists, and Jordan Hall with 3 goals. Their next meeting will be this Saturday, May 20th, at the Infinite Energy Arena. The Braves will approach a 9-game series at the end of a 4-game series against the Toronto Blue Jays. Following that series, they'll play the Washington Nationals in a 3-game home series, and following that, they'll play a 4-game series with the Pittsburgh Pirates to end their 9-game homestand. With national sports news, we got the NBA playoffs coming out. We got the San Antonio Spurs losing a devastating loss to the Golden State Warriors. Kawhi Leonard ended up getting injured in the second quarter of yesterday's conference finals game. He had to leave the game and will undergo an MRI today. Greg Popovich, in a post-game press conference, said that he got stepped on and that he re-injured his ankle.
The Braves have won 3 out of the 4 games so far this week, so let's hope they sweep the Blue Jays.
That would be fantastic. You know, some people think getting into Hollywood is kind of like playing a game too, but it makes a big difference when you know when filming takes place. Our very own Miranda Hassan has details on that and more in today's entertainment report. Let's take a closer look.
Local comic book fans and moviegoers will be excited to hear about this. Several films in the Marvel franchise are scheduled to shoot in the Atlanta area. Currently filming is Avengers, Infinity War, and Black Panther.
This is our first day. Here we are in Pinewood in Atlanta, and it's actually pretty unbelievable.
Fans and aspiring actors should check the Atlanta Journal-Constitution or Central Casting for updates on casting calls. Netflix has responded to critical backlash of 13 Reasons Why by adding more warning labels to the series. Mental health awareness communities have expressed their disdain over the glorified portrayal of teenage suicide in the popular web series.
Such a big story, and like we always do, we go big.
The cast and crew of The Walking Dead have returned to southern Atlanta to film Season 8. Fans of the zombie apocalypse television show were initially concerned that the production may be delayed due to a writer's strike in Hollywood. However, filming has already been witnessed by fans and Georgia natives in Sonoy, Griffin, and Peachtree City.
That wraps up our news coverage for today. Stay tuned to WCSB for all your latest news. I'm Jamelia Monley.
And I'm Colin Pace. See you all tomorrow, same time, same place. Till then, make it a good one.